still have 2 minutes. Good evening. Good evening. I, Dr. Lasagna Flowers, President of the Duncanville ISD Board of Trustees, call this meeting of the Duncanville Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of the Board of Trustees is present, that the meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. We will now move to opening ceremonies. We will begin with our invocation by Ms. Andre Fields.
Please pray with me. Sovereign God, how grateful we are for another opportunity to gather together tonight. We're thankful for our school district, our school family, our school community, this place that we love, Duncanville Independent School District. We're grateful for our Board of Trustees, our superintendent, our leadership, our teachers, and our wonderful students. We ask now for your gracious presence tonight during our deliberations and discussions as we work toward what is best for our students. We ask for peace in all things. Guide us as we lead with impact through these days ahead to make the best decisions to serve our students, the next generation. We ask all these things in your mighty name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Ms. Fields. Will you please stand for the pledge? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
You may be seated. We will now move on to the superintendent's report. I will now turn the meeting over to Dr. Goree.
Thank you very much, Madam President, and good evening to everyone assembled here today. I would like to begin our superintendent's report by highlighting the beautiful picture that's displayed as our cover story this month. The Duncanville High School Visual Arts Department showcased their talents at the Visual Arts Scholastic event, where 5 of our outstanding students earned the honor of advancing to the state VASE competition later this semester. A special thank you goes to our Duncanville High School Art Department for their dedication to nourishing the creativity and preparing our students for success and providing meaningful opportunities for them to showcase their artistic excellence. We look forward to seeing our students shine at the state level. Let's give them a round of applause. Our Duncanville High School choir and junior ROTC were invited to be a part of the inauguration of Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett in her swearing-in ceremony. They did a phenomenal job representing our school district, and truly we're grateful to be invited. Recently, Duncan High School graduate Colin Simmons, a University of Texas at Austin football standout and co-founder of the Clay's Color Crew Foundation, surprised students at Merrifield Elementary School with a donation of crafts and art supplies. We also had on hand Walmart, who made a charitable donation to his foundation. Thank you, Colin, for your act of kindness. Every February, we recognize and appreciate the contributions of school counselors. They truly play a vital role in student success and well-being. Thank you to each and every one of our counselors for all that you do to help us write success stories one student at a time. We could not imagine doing this work without our amazing counselors. Let's give them a round of applause. Another big celebration and congratulations goes out to our communications and public relations team, who have immeasurable value for our school district and for our community. Congratulations on winning 1 Crystal finalist, 2 Best Category, 14 Gold Star Awards, 4 Silver Star Awards, and 1 Bronze Star Award at this year's Texas School Public Relations Association Conference last week. That was a mouthful, so congratulations to our communications team for all their success. We are a district that believes that our neighborhood schools are the perfect choice for our students. However, we also appreciate that some students have special interests, so we offer choice programs at our elementary, middle, and high school levels. Join us for Champions Choice Showcase on March 22nd from 10 to 1 at Duncanville High School to learn more about the amazing learning experiences throughout Duncanville ISD. All schools and most of our programs will be present, and we encourage everyone in the community to come out and see what it means to truly be a champion in every aspect. As a Harvard-trained historian, Carter G. Woodson started Black History Week in 1926 to celebrate the contributions of African Americans. It was first celebrated during the first week in February that encompassed the birthdays of both Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. The celebration was expanded to a month in 1976. Throughout the month, and especially that week, campuses throughout our district host Black History Month programs. At this time, I would like to invite Ms. Pam Brown, our Chief Human Resource Officer, to make an introduction. Ms. Brown.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam President, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Gorey. I would like to invite our Interim Police Chief, Max Guerin, to the podium with me. We are excited to announce the appointment of Interim Police Chief Max Guerin for Duncanville ISD. With 35 years of law enforcement experience, including 27 years with the Dallas Police Department, Chief Guerin has held key leadership roles such as supervising patrol and detective units and retiring as acting deputy police chief in Dallas. He has also served as the police chief in Rockwall, Texas, and as the health and public safety director at the Meadows Mental Health Policy Institute. Most recently, he was the chief operating officer of the Caruth Police Institute at the University of North Texas at Dallas. Chief Guerin is dedicated to building positive relationships within diverse communities, focusing on student safety and community engagement. He has worked to foster trust and understanding between law enforcement, educators, students, and families. Chief Guerin holds a bachelor's degree from Midwestern State University and a master's degree from the U.S. Naval Postgraduate School. He is also an adjunct professor for the National Center for Biomedical Research and Training at Louisiana State University and an FBI National Academy graduate. As interim police chief, he will oversee the district's police operations, ensuring a safe environment for students and staff. We are confident his leadership will guide the department through this transition. Please join us in welcoming interim police chief Max Guerin to Duncanville ISD.
Thank you very much, Madam President. That does conclude the superintendent's report.
Before we move on, Ms. Hillary and Mr. Jeffrey, you two are usually behind the scenes with a camera. Can you guys come to the front? I mean, people know who you are maybe, but. And Miss Angela, there she is. Miss Angela as well. Can somebody get a picture board? Can we just stand where we are? We don't have to go down to the, no, we have people.
Our student interns are here, they'll take some pictures.
Ms. Wallace, I'm so sorry. I don't know how I missed you. Please join them. Because you didn't have a camera in your hand today, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, he brought his medal with him.
There you go. There you go. They're usually behind the lens, so we just want to take this time to recognize them. Thank you all so much. No, thank you. We appreciate you all. We will now move to recognitions. I will turn the meeting over to Ms. Connie Wallace.
Thank you so much. Madam President, Board of Trustees, Dr. Goree, actually before I move into our donations, if I may introduce you guys to three amazing folks that are here tonight. They were going to be with me last week because the team was away at the conference, and so I invited our student interns last week to help me out to take pictures, and then they agreed to come this week, even though the team was back here. So if Cassidy Martinez, will you wave? Ariane Mason and Kaylin Simmons. Thank you all so much. These are students in our CTE program. We get to know them because on the sidelines at the football games, on the sidelines of basketball games, and all of the different events here in the district, they are usually where we interface with them or interact with them. And so we are grateful to them and to Mr. Clifford Reed, their teacher and leader of that program, who allows us to tap into some of their pictures when we may not be able to stretch our team to be everywhere. They usually capture the moment. And so thank you, students. We greatly appreciate you, and thank you for being here this evening. And this month, we are excited to once again have a community that stands up and supports the efforts here in Duncanville. Are there any questions about any of the donations that are presented here? Okay, thank you. All right, moving into our Made with Pride. This happens to be one of my favorite parts of board meetings. At this time, if I can please invite Sophia Lerma to come to the podium. right, everyone, this is Sophia. She is an 8th grade student at Kennemer, and Miss Shay Hopkins, her teacher, nominated her for Made with Pride in Duncanville. And Ms. Hopkins says that her reliability and determination set her apart. She says that Sophia shines through her willingness to ask or answer questions. She approaches challenges with a calm and steady focus, never backing down from an opportunity to grow. Beyond academics, her kindness and dedication to helping others create a welcoming classroom environment, and she represents everything we hope to see in a student. She's hardworking, she's compassionate, and always striving to be her very best. And with her unwavering commitment to learning and leadership, Sophia truly embodies what it means to be made with pride in Duncanville. Congratulations, Sophia. You can have a seat and I'll call you back up to take a picture and stand, okay? At this time, if Sophia's family, or friends, any guests here representing Sophia, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. At this time, Mr. Fuerte, James Fuerte, and our business services, come on down. All right. In today's world, where great customer service is often lacking, I think it's important to recognize those who go above and beyond, says Miss Latrice Walker, a retiring Duncanville ISD employee. She says that Mr. James Fuerte is one of those people. James ensures that every question is answered and every concern is addressed. He takes the time to explain things in detail. And James exemplifies what it means to be made with pride in Duncanville because he is kind, he is professional, and he has an unwavering support for those that he serves. Thank you for all that you do, James. You are made with pride in Duncanville. And if you have family and friends here, family and friends, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. You may have a seat. And last but absolutely not least, Miss Haley Backus. Come on down. So Haley embodies what it means to be made with pride in Duncanville, says her principal, Dr. Tiffany Stats. She is an outstanding educator whose passion for students is undeniable. As a proud Duncanville High School graduate, yes, once a Panther, always a Panther, Haley returned in 2017 to begin her teaching career. In the past 5.5 years, she has become a pillar of support for her students, creating a classroom that is both welcoming and inspiring. Beyond academics, Haley ensures her students feel valued. Her dedication is reflected in her students and their achievement. For all of those reasons, Haley, your heart, everything that you bring to DHS every single day, you are made with pride in Duncanville. Congratulations, Haley.
Thank you.
Do you have family and friends here? And will her family and friends please stand and be recognized? Before we see the video, may I ask our 3 honorees to please come forward, and our board will stand, and so y'all can get a picture right here with our board. Come on down. Hillary, thank you for helping me get them organized. Do you want? Now let's check out this video that showcases our 3 honorees.
ISD congratulates the following student, staff member, and teacher who are made with pride in Duncanville.
Hi, my name is James Fuerte. I'm the payroll manager for Duncanville ISD. A payroll manager handles all of the payroll for the district. Regular day can range from questions about obviously paychecks, questions about their W-4s, taxes, TRS, timesheet questions to comp time. Typically it's data entry as well, but it's also interactions with employees at the front when they come in, so it's kind of all over the place. We have a lot to do, so we try to handle everything as well as we can every day. I try to put the employee first. That's really what it comes down to. Employees are what make up obviously the district. Without them we wouldn't be here, so in order for me to service them as best I can, I just want to make sure that they're well taken care of. So
hi, my name is Sophia Lerma. I'm from Kinderman Middle School and I'm an 8th grader. I think what it takes to be a good steward is being respectful, doing your work on time, or if you can't do your work on time, just do your best and try to do it. And to just think positively, especially on tests, because tests are really stressful and stuff like that. Something when I want to be when I grow up is probably a nurse or something similar in that category, because I like helping people a lot. I like helping people because this feels nice. Like you just get this warm energy when you help somebody, and plus it like also helps you because you learn how to be more mature, I guess, or like you learn how to help people more quicker and notice the signs to help somebody, if that ever happens.
Hi, my name is Haley Backus, and I'm an English 2 teacher for the Duncanville High School Collegiate Academy. So I teach English 2 in the Collegiate Academy, and since we're an early high school program, I bridge the gap between English 2 and college. So I'm preparing my students for their AP classes and English composition once they get to their junior year. My favorite parts of the day are really just after school and before school when I get to hang out with the kids. I host a couple groups like Dungeons and Dragons and the Creative Writing Club, so I have a lot of students who are just kind of always hanging around in my room, telling me about life, asking for advice. And so my day is just always full of talking to kids and teaching kids about life. I love my job. I love teaching in the Collegiate Academy. We have an amazing administrative group here and an amazing group of teachers, and the students are so special. They really dive into their work, and they know the effort that it takes in order to achieve greatness and go to college like they want to. I really love teaching and getting to hang out with the kids. And I also love being at Duncanville because it's my alma mater. And it's just really special to come back to a place that was just such a big part of my life, and to like hopefully be a big part of some of these students' lives as well.
These honorees truly are made with pride in Duncanville.
Thank you, and congratulations to all of our honorees. And now I have another group of stellar individuals that we would like to recognize, and these are our area students selected as Texas All-State musicians. So at this time, can I please have Noah Johnson, Devarion Hamilton, Osiel Hernandez, Song Brian Wynn, Andres Rubio, Ethan Rosario, Mark Rosario, come on down, guys. Adriana Luna, Jonathan Campos, Zion Piqua, and Ruben Galicia. All right. So we are looking at...
I don't know if the choir people heard you, Miss Wallace. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
come on down. All of our students being recognized. Y'all can stand on this side of me. Yes, we want to see these talented musicians. We are so excited that these 11 Duncanville ISD students earned the prestigious honor of performing with the Texas All-State Ensemble. These talented musicians and vocalists showcased their skills on Saturday, February the 15th in San Antonio as part of the 2025 Texas Music Educators Association Clinic and Convention. These students were chosen for this honor through a highly competitive process held at the district, the region, and area levels. High school students selected to perform in all-state ensembles have demonstrated exceptional skill and commitment, competing against approximately 70,000 students from across the state. Fewer than 2.6% of those who auditioned achieved the distinction of being named to a Texas All-State Ensemble. So let's give these students and their teachers a round of applause. Congratulations. I'm going to ask our photographers to come and see if we can get them assembled so we can get a picture with our board. This is an amazing accomplishment, and we are so proud of each of them. Thank you to Mr. Till, to Ms. Scott, to Mr. Doucet, for all that you all do to make these great things happen for our students. We really appreciate you all.
And big smiles, everybody. 1, 2, 3.
And it is Miss Gibson now, everyone.
She's there. Come on, y'all get into it. Congratulations, Ms. Gibson.
Yes. And on the screen, you're seeing a picture that includes their magnificent principal, Principal Bird, because we all know that the great accolades that they attain requires great leadership. So thank you to their directors, to the Director of Fine Arts, and to Principal Bird, and to our board for their continued support. Let's give them one more round of applause. Thank you. And Madam President, this concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Wallace, and congratulations, everybody. We do not have any communications from the citizens regarding a pending agenda item. The board will now adjourn to closed session under the Texas Open Meetings Act, Section 551.071 and 551.074. Thank you. We are now back from closed session. We're now at agenda item 6. Consider action on matters discussed in closed session. Do I have a motion to approve the appointment of the Director of Purchasing as presented?
So moved. Second.
Are there any questions, comments, or discussions? Please cast your vote electronically. Motion carries 7-0. We will now move to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
It's been moved and second. Are there any questions, comments, or discussions? Please cast your vote electronically. Motion passes 7-0. We now move on to the action agenda item A, District Campus and Targeted Improvement Plans. Dr. Sam Nix.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Guree. Texas state law requires that district, campus, and targeted improvement plans be developed, be presented, and be approved through a formal process that involves public input and board approval. So I'm going to invite Dr. Melanie Lewis, who is our Executive Director of School Improvement, to present on all 3 of these these plans, as she has facilitated the development and the support of the campuses through the process and through implementation.
Good evening, President Flowers, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Guree. Tonight, I have the pleasure of informing you, giving you some information on the improvement plans for the 24-25 school year. Historically, we have presented this information in October, but this year, the Texas Education Agency changed the targeted improvement plan requirements, and they released that information to districts in December of 2024, pushing back the date until February 28th of 2025. So BQ Local states that in compliance with law, Duncanville ISD School Board shall approve annually the process under which the district and campus improvement plans are developed to ensure stakeholders' input was gathered and it is in compliance with all mandated components. In Duncanville ISD, our decision-making process is always done through collaborative committees. At the district level, any district level decision is through the District Educational Improvement Committee. And on the campus level, it is through the Site-Based Decision-Making Committee. These committees are comprised of members that are nominated by their peers and serve no more than 2 years on the committee. The committee should consist of 2/3 of classroom teachers, a non-teaching professional, community members, parents, business members, and district professional. The role of the committee members is to complete a comprehensive needs assessment as well as an improvement planning. Our district has 4 main priorities through our strategic plan, and each campus and committee members receive this information, and all goals and strategies are directly aligned to our district priorities when creating those goals and strategies. Based on the comprehensive needs assessment, each campus may have some varying in their goals and strategies based on their specific needs for their campus. Targeted improvement plans are a little different. Targeted improvement plans are required of any campus that holds a federal accountability designation. So not every campus is going to have a targeted improvement plan.
So our targeted improvement plans come from those federal designation, and there are two possible federal designations. The first one is a comprehensive designation, which means that there are low performance of all students on a campus. A targeted is when there is a low performance among a specific special population of students. So in 2023, it is important to note that Duncanville ISD had 8 campuses with a federal designation. We had 4 with a comprehensive designation, which were Bill Hart's, Alexander, Smith, Hastings. And we had 4 that had a targeted designation. That is Acton, Daniel, Hyman, and Merrifield. So at the time, we knew with this in Domain 3, closing the gaps, that we had to do something. And so what we did was we applied for the Effective Schools Framework Grant and the Texas Instructional Leadership Grant. And we received that grant. And through that grant, our campus leaders were able to participate in monthly professional development. They also received training on observation and feedback cycles for teachers. They also received training on how to identify lesson alignment and formative assessment alignment to ensure students were receiving high quality teaching every day on Tier 1, every day in the classroom. So we have the TIP redesign for 2024 now focuses those targeted improvement plans rather than each campus saying the actions that they are going to do to meet those, to get out of school improvement. Now it is a district focus. The targeted improvement plan asks the district, what are you doing to ensure that students have access to high quality instruction and high quality instructional materials on a daily basis? I have some great news for you. So based off of our grant campuses that we have had, we started this journey with 8 campuses in targeted improvement and with that federal designation, and the 4 with comprehensive and 4 targeted. Today, that 8 is now 3 that have participated that hold a federal designation. So right now we have Bill Hart's is a comprehensive campus, we have Acton as a targeted campus, and we have Daniel as a targeted campus. Now, while the grant is still going, because it was a 2-year grant, all 8 are submitting a targeted improvement plan because it is part of the grant requirements. So we were recently found out from TEA that because of the progress that Duncanville has made, we are going to be recognized as an exemplar district for the state of Texas in leadership development. So we're extremely proud of that today, that we get to celebrate coming out of losing that federal designation. That is not an easy task. It takes 2 years of consistent improvement to lose a federal designation once you have that federal designation. So tonight we ask the board to approve the district campus and targeted improvement plans for the 24-25 school year. And at this time, I will gladly take any questions or hear any comments. Trustee Fahey?
Thank you. Are we supposed to have a copy of the plans?
So
And what are we approving? The three schools and their plans?
So we have the campus improvement plans. You should have a copy of the district improvement plans as well as the 8 targeted improvement plans. And I believe Ms. Lofton created the Google Drive for them.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not sure what I'm voting on if I haven't seen the plans.
Was that sent to the board already? Okay.
So we will
Yeah, we'll have to
table
Yeah.
the
yeah,
vote
table
for
that,
this
and we'll have
because,
to get those out to the board. It was well, we'll get those to the board.
okay.
But congratulations.
Thank you. So I'd like to can I get a motion to table the action for this item until the next board meeting?
Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor, please vote electronically. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Even though that item is tabled, if you guys have any questions that you would like to submit, let's get them to, you can email Dr. Goree or Ms. Jody so that it can be included in the presentation for next month. Absolutely. We do have some questions though. I have some as well. Trustee Colton.
Good evening. Thank you for your presentation. I have a question regarding the CSI designation and how long it's been around.
Yes, ma'am. So that's the comprehensive designation is when all of the areas are low performing with all of your subpopulations, all students are underperforming. So you receive a comprehensive designation anytime they have been low performing for a period of 3 years consistently.
Okay, I was wondering how long that designation has been available.
The comprehensive, I can look that up for you. The comprehensive label we've had it for a few years, but I can look specifically when it became called comprehensive, and I can get that to you.
Okay, and then I have a question regarding Bill Hart's.
Yes, ma'am.
So how long have they been a CSI school?
So this is actually, we're in year 3 of full comprehensive. And so we are working this year to prevent from being in year 4. So through year 3, we have certain interventions that have to take place in year 3, because by year 4, we have to come up with another plan. We're working with school improvement to ensure that we get out of that designation. But this is year 3 for Bill Hart's.
But before year 3, before we were reconstituted, they were program improvement. I mean, it was a different status, but before year 3, they were in a different category before that. What was that, Dr. Goodman?
It was through the state, so the state and federal are different, so they were improvement. Are you talking improvement required? I apologize. Good evening.
That's okay. Good evening. So we're talking about Bill
So
Hart's.
state and federal are two different. What we're talking about right now is the federal designation. You may be talking about school improvement from the state level, or improvement required. Is that what you're asking about? Maybe.
Yeah, I was just wondering because I know that since I've been on the board, I've heard that Bill Hart's has been not, performing. And so I guess my question is, has there been any improvement? And when we see the plans, I guess we'll be able to understand exactly what is taking place and what is planned. But to me, it's been too long, and we can't have that. So that's what I was wondering about, because, our students, we gotta have it. They gotta bring it, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't present out last year, but there was gain at Bill Hart's. I looked at their data, and there was significant gains, but we did an overall presentation at the end of the year. But I just wanted to make sure that we weren't presenting it. It seems like it's just year 3, but actually there was, even if it's state or federal, we want to make sure that it's been a pattern, and
Yes, ma'am.
the timeline was longer. I think that's what Dr. Trustee Colton was pointing out.
Right, and if I could add one thing to that, please, Madam President and Trustee Colton, is that when we go back on March 24th, when we come for our deep dive into data, everything you just described is what we're going to talk about. Length of time, what do those plans look like, and we'll take care of that. And let me apologize to the board that you do not have that, but you will have that in your email before you go to sleep tonight, okay?
You'll be able to see from that information the difference in where we were and where we made gains at the state level, versus where we are with the school improvement designation at the federal level.
Trustee Colton?
I know that after a certain period of time, there are things that the state can do. And so when we bring this back, if we can, provide those details as well, I would appreciate it.
Right, and one thing I'll add to that, and of course, Bill Hart is in one of our probably our most delicate situation as it relates to what the federal government can do. So we will show you, we have a detailed plan around what we're doing today to support them, and we will present that. Is that fair, Dr. Lewis, that Bill Hart's being comprehensive?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if the report already has the targeted subgroups in it, because we don't have it, but if it doesn't, can you identify the targeted subgroups in the target category?
Absolutely.
And my other question was gonna be, who's delivering the PD to close those gaps, and how often?
Okay.
Right, and those things will be addressed in the plan.
Yes.
We'll get
Okay,
that.
yes, I'll have all of that for you.
Thank you. And lastly, does the sign-in sheet for those meetings reflect the different categories, the decision-making? If you can go back to that decision-making slide, like parents, non-teaching.
Yes, she's
The
representing.
sign-in sheet does designate what role the person plays that's on the committee.
Okay, great.
Would
So
you
if
like
we-
a copy?
If we looked at the sign-in sheets, we would be able to see
Yes,
that they're
ma'am.
there. Yeah, if you could just put a sample one in that packet,
Yes,
that would be
ma'am.
nice.
And it should be in the plans. Once you have the plans tonight, the sign-in sheets will be a part of it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Uh-oh. Some fun reading.
We will now move to action item B, Building the Future, Raising Champions, Rezoning. The presenter is Mr. Graham.
Madam President, if I may, right before Mr. Graham comes with his presentation, I do want to take this opportunity to thank our board as well as our community as we've gone through this process of rezoning. I think we all know that this can be a very challenging conversation, but I do believe because our community has been so responsive and because the communication's been in place, rather, early meetings with you, Madam President, or what those may have been with the board and with the community, we have seen a pretty smooth process of rezoning our school system. So just want to publicly thank everyone for their engagement. Mr. Graham will present some information. At some points it may seem like he's repeating himself, but again, that's just our efforts to make sure that we have the best messaging out around the things that we're doing with our bond. Thank you.
All right. Good evening to President Flowers, our esteemed trustees, Dr. Goree. Thank you for allowing me to share our key updates on the Building the Future's Raising Champions proposed attendance boundary changes. In traveling across the district and speaking to diverse employees and stakeholders, our superintendent shared his vision for every child to reach their wildest dream. With that in mind, we remain dedicated to providing championship-level learning opportunities for each student every day, empowering them to excel at whatever they choose. In November of 2023, our community voted to invest $170 million to ensure Duncanville ISD continues to innovate and provide exceptional opportunities for our students. With these funds, we developed a district-wide reconfiguration plan that minimizes campus transitions for students, creates an early learning academy for 3-year-olds, transitions elementary schools to pre-K 4 through 5th grade, and aligns middle schools to include 6th through 8th grade. Additionally, this plan includes significant renovations across all schools, transform selected campuses into specialized learning environments, and establish new school choice academies and signature programs. As a direct result of these efforts, rezoning became necessary, and tonight we'll discuss the details of the rezoning plan. So tonight I'll present a review of our rezoning plan with updates from our previous meeting. Rezoning helps us optimize resources, balance student populations, and ensure equitable access to high-quality education. By preventing overcrowding and underutilization, we're creating a stronger foundation for every student's success. In the process, we took a district-wide approach to ensure every voice helped shape this reconfiguration. HR is now aligning staff to bring this exciting vision to life for all of our students. In the committee, we met multiple times with staff, parents, students, and the community leaders to include every stakeholder's perspective. With guidance from an established demographer, we refined our plan to present to senior leadership team in December. The changes will impact around 900 students in our district, streamline transportation, and align each campus with a clear feeder pattern, building momentum for success across our entire community. Now, let's have an opportunity to look at our current boundaries and our proposed boundaries. In looking at our current boundaries, our main priority was resolving the islands of students who attend schools far from their nearest campus. In our proposed boundaries on the right, you'll see we've eliminated those islands along with the elimination of Central and Smith attendance zones. As we look at the charts, on the right is the proposed attendance zones. Located, or for clarity, the attendance zones is marked by the black coloring. So you'll see the actual Alexander attendance zone. You'll see the Merrifield attendance zone and the Harding attendance zone in the black. The red stars that are smaller that you may not see give the placement of the actual campus. So on the right is the proposed elementary attendance zone. Our next slide highlights each school's enrollment, capacity, and utilization, showing exactly how much of the building will be used under the proposed plan. This slide shows our current intermediate and middle school boundaries. Please remember that all intermediate schools are being repurposed, and we're adjusting our middle school zones to accommodate these new students. This slide illustrates our proposed middle school boundaries, carefully adjusted to balance enrollment across campuses. You'll see Reed's boundary now extends to the northernmost part of the district, while Byrd has gained areas that were previously a part of Reed's southern zone. And just like our elementary, this is a review of the capacity. This slide highlights what's available at each middle school, now accommodating 6th grade students and offering choice programs throughout all of the campuses. Our next slide gives our new feeder pattern for Duncanville Independent School District. You'll notice that we now have 3 current feeder patterns with one that will start in the year 2026-27. Under the Byrd feeder pattern, you will have Daniel Elementary, Hastings Elementary, Alexander Elementary, and Bill Hart's Elementary. In the Kennemer feeder pattern, you'll have Hyman Elementary, Acton Elementary, and Bill Hart's Elementary. In the Reed feeder pattern, you'll have Merrifield Elementary, Hardin Elementary, and Fair Meadows. Beginning or opening in the year of 2026-2027, we will have our Smith Early Learning Academy, which will accommodate our pre-K-3 students. Also in the 2026-27 school year, Central Academy will open for our kindergarten through 5th grade students, and the following year, Brandenburg Middle School Academy will open to accommodate those students. Next, if approved tonight, the transfer application link will be available beginning February 28th, and the transfer options will be considered for students entering 4th, 5th, and 8th grade if they are impacted by rezoning. By completing the sibling option form, provisions can be made so siblings can continue to attend the same campus. Transportation impact. This slide highlights the impact of rezoning on transportation. Currently, we route approximately 3,051 riders across the district. With the new boundaries, fewer than 100 students will become ineligible for transportation. While all eligible K-12 students, those living more than 2 miles from their campus or in a TEA designated hazardous area, will continue to receive services. Additionally, students attending a choice program can request transportation. Due to the district reconfiguration, school start times will also need to be adjusted to a 3-tiered schedule with 45-minute gaps in between. The proposed times for the high school will continue to be the same, 7:30 to 3 p.m. The proposed times for elementary schools will be shifted 15 minutes from 8 a.m. to 8:15 to 3:45 p.m. And finally, middle schools will stay the same at 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. These adjustments will improve efficiency and better support student needs across the campuses, and these changes will have to be voted on in the next board meeting. Since our last meeting in January, our senior leadership team, under our superintendent's direction, has met with every campus and hosted multiple community meetings to ensure full transparency in this process. After each meeting, our communications team addressed all questions electronically and dedicated an FAQ page, a FAQ webpage has been available for staff and community to access anytime. If the plan is approved, we will update the site with maps and other key information to keep everyone informed. Recommendation, the district administration recommends the approval of the proposed attendance boundary changes effective for the 2025-2026 school year. By adopting these adjustments, we anticipate improved student experience, enhanced operational efficiency, and better distribution of resources across schools. We appreciate the school board's consideration of this important step in supporting the district's continued growth and success. Are there any questions at this time?
Do I have a motion to approve the proposed rezoning plan for the 2025-26 school year?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and second. Are there any questions, comments, or discussion? Trustee Fahey, I'm seeing fingers go different ways. Trustee Veracruz, did you have a question? Okay, Trustee Veracruz.
Okay, thank you. How are we doing with communicating this to the community? How's that looking like for them to understand what's happening?
So we've taken several steps. Again, we first started off at each campus, meeting with all of the staff members and employees to ensure they understood what the changes were. We had an opportunity for 3 different meetings in the community at 2 different campuses and here at the central office to offer for any person that wanted to attend to gather information there about the proposed changes. And again, we do have the website that's available, and we're open for any questions that any community member has.
And I want to make sure it's in bilingual as well.
Yes, it is in bilingual.
I attended a couple of those parent and community members, and we also had someone to translate.
Were they well attended?
Yes. Trustee Fahey?
Yes, I have 2 questions.
Yes,
The grandfathered students, they will not have an opportunity for the bus, right?
No, they will not have an
Okay, so
opportunity.
they could get grandfathered in, but they would have to have their own
Provide their own-
transportation.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Also, what are LOE and IDT?
LOE is limited open enrollment students that
Limited
transfer
open,
from
okay.
outside of the district into our district,
Okay.
which means we have certain qualifications that they must meet in order to enroll in our district.
Okay.
And also IDT is inter-district transfer students, so
Okay.
students that choose to transfer, that live
Thank
in
you.
our district.
Trustee Colton?
Thank you, Dr. Graham, and thank you, Dr. Goree, for, an extraordinary effort to get the word out, to the community and let them know what was going on. So I do have a question, and I want to piggyback on Trustee Fahey's question. The ones that are going to be grandfathered, why is it that they won't have access to the bus system?
So when we made this change, our goal is to ensure that every student is going to that school that's in their attendance zone. Those students that choose to go back, they're choosing under their own volition, so therefore we don't provide the transportation for them at this particular time.
One thing I'd like to add to that too is that there was a lengthy conversation, and really it went back to efficiencies. But let me look. What I want to really reassure the board is that as we move into our choice opportunities, and I think this is a good lead into that, we are committed, and I have charged our operations team with working towards, if we're going to say this is a choice, that we have to provide transportation, and that's something that we're working towards with all of our choice programs. And again, we're working towards those efficiencies and how do we actually make that happen in the district. So I do hear the spirit of your question. I want you to know that we are working towards making those, and we know for choice it's going to be transportation provided. We're working in that direction.
And they're similar to our intra-district transfer students. We don't provide transportation for a student that chooses to transfer. Only choice students that are in those particular programs get transportation.
Thank you for that explanation. And so you had mentioned a TA hazardous area.
Yes.
Could you provide more details regarding what that is?
TEA hazardous area is any area that causes an issue for that student to walk to school. So right now, we don't provide transportation for students that live within the 2-mile radius. But if there's a bridge that doesn't have a sidewalk on that bridge, or if there's a business that's a major business that causes a hazard in that particular area, we send that through TEA, and they provide us and say that that is now a hazardous area, and we have to provide transportation for those students to get to school.
Okay, I know that we have, occasionally we hear of incidents on Camp Wisdom. And so I'm just wondering if that would possibly qualify for this TA hazardous area, and if y'all have looked at that.
The Transportation Department has looked at all of the areas. I don't know that area, but I can find that out, but they have already designated every hazardous area in the district. And that's Camp Wisdom, and what is that area?
It's, yeah, Cedar
Was
Ridge.
by,
Camp
and it
Wisdom,
was
Cedar
by
Ridge.
Old Acton, that big street. Old Acton, well, it's now across,
Okay,
over by Kennemer at one time.
okay.
I thought it was
Right.
it was discussed.
Right. Ms. Zamora is not with us tonight, but we will follow up to make sure, because that could be one that's already been designated
It could
too.
be one that's already designated.
Okay, thank you.
And even if it isn't the TEA qualified as hazardous, I'm wondering if that could be an item that we use, a crossing guard. We have had many students involved in accidents, and it may be a simple solution as adding crossing guards.
Yes, and we will look into that.
Trustee Fahey?
Are the crossing guards still city employees? They're not our employees, is that correct? They're
still
city
city
employees.
employees.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Graham.
Do I have a motion to approve the proposed rezoning plan for, yes, we already did that. Please cast your votes electronically. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. We will now move to action item C, purchase of data center and core network upgrades. Presenter is Dr. Brown.
Good evening, Madam President, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Goree. Thank you for the opportunity to provide an update on the district's ongoing technology, infrastructure, and network upgrades as part of the 2023 bond referendum. We issued a request for proposals on November 5th, 2024, seeking solutions for core network and server virtualization equipment. The RFP closed on December 3rd with 10 bids coming in from 4 different vendors. A selection committee of 7 technology department members carefully evaluated all submissions. After an initial round of evaluation, 3 vendors were invited to present their proposals on January 22nd and 23rd, 2025. Following a second round of evaluations, we entered negotiations with NetSync Network Solutions on January 24th and finalized the project scope on January 30th. This upgrade project will cost just over $1,027,181.93 to be exact, and will replace aging infrastructure, including the Cisco Nexus 7000 data center installed in 2014, and the Dell VxRail server virtualization system last updated in 2019. Moving forward, we'll be implementing a Cisco spine leaf architecture alongside a Lenovo-powered Nutanix server virtualization system. A key highlight of this project is the significant reduction in physical footprint on our data center network equipment, which is expected to bring a significant reduction in energy usage, contributing to both cost savings and sustainability goals for the district. These upgrades are a significant step forward in modernizing our district's technology infrastructure. The improvements will enhance network performance, scalability, and reliability, ensuring we're well equipped to meet future operational needs. Thank you, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. Representatives from NetSync Network Solutions are present if they need to address any additional questions.
Do I have a motion to award the request for proposal 2425 as presented for the purchase of data center and core network upgrades to NetSync Network Solutions?
So moved. Second.
It's been motioned and second. Are there any questions, comments, or discussions? I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
In our books, it noted that there was the list was given by Adam Wilson.
Oh, that's on the next one.
It's on the next one. It's
Yes,
not
ma'am.
this one.
On the security cameras.
Okay, so never mind. Okay, please cast your votes electronically. Motion carries. That's 7-0. Motion passed.
Thank you very much. You ready? Yes. All right, good evening once again, Madam President, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Goree. Thank you for the opportunity to share an important update on the district's ongoing efforts to enhance school safety and security through technology upgrades, a key part of the 2023 bond referendum. Today's presentation is a culmination of a partnership between the Department of Technology and the Duncanville ISD Police Department that began approximately 9 months ago. As part of the bond initiative, the district has allocated a total budget of $5 million to improve school safety and security updates, including $3 million to upgrade and expand our security camera systems. To ensure these updates align with our district's specific needs, we partner with a certified local partner to conduct a thorough evaluation of our existing systems. Through the Interlocal Purchasing System, or TIPS, under Purchasing Contract 230105, we are requesting approval to replace or add new network video recorders and upgrade security cameras that have either failed or at risk of failure across all academic and administrative campuses. This phase of this investment totals $1,255,480.11, and we've selected DataVox Incorporated as our vendor to carry out these improvements. With the remaining budget, we will continue accessing and implementing additional security enhancements to further strengthen our district's safety measures. These upgrades are a crucial step in enhancing campus security, improving surveillance capabilities, and ensuring a safer environment for our students and staff. By modernizing our security technology, we're ensuring a more reliable and effective system that will better support the safety needs of our schools. Thank you, and I'll be happy to address any questions you might have. Representatives from DataVox are present if needed.
Do I have a motion to approve as presented the purchase of security camera system equipment from DataVox, Inc. under TIPS Purchasing Contract 230105 for the amount of $1,255,480.11?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and second. Are there any questions, comments, or discussions? Trustee Colton.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. I just have a question regarding how we arrived at selecting DataVox, and it's a simple question.
Yes, ma'am. It is, they are an Avigilon certified dealer, and they worked with us on our special education server that we did last year.
Does that mean there wasn't a bidding process?
It's done through the purchasing cooperative.
Okay.
So yes, ma'am, it was not an RFP competitive bid.
So did they offer the most competitive price on that cooperative?
By the way, the cooperative purchasing contract, that would be the set price. It's pre-negotiated. That's what the purchasing contract would be. So,
Yeah, I know with the cooperative, there are, a lot of times several different vendors.
we did not ask our other vendor because of the relationship there. So we only went with them because of the success of the special education server, that we felt like they were best suited to meet our needs.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Trustee Fahey.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Brown. The price, does that include replacements and upgrades only, or will we be purchasing more cameras?
I believe there are some additional cameras in there as well. And then, of course, all the recording devices. Some of the cameras have been installed since 2009.
And our students know which ones don't work. Not good, so get them fixed.
Yes, ma'am.
Is your hand up, Trustee Fairgrounds? Okay. What would we have to do to get other quotes from some of the businesses that are in the co-op?
Well, it might be a different co-op. I'm not sure what co-ops some of the other vendors would be in, but we could go get bids from them.
I'm just concerned that with as fiscally responsible as we're trying to be, not having options or seeing what other rates would be, I would feel more comfortable
I
at
understand.
least knowing that they gave us the best price.
I understand. We're about 1.8 million under budget on this project.
Yeah.
So it was a $3 million budget, and we did it for 1.2.
I get that. I mean, yes. But I would still like to know that we had a choice and we brought an option versus it just seems subjective to go with. I mean, I get that we have good experience with them, with the special ed.
It's very limited because of the security camera system that we have. There's only a couple in the DFW area. And so it's not a lot of options for working with our current security camera system.
Okay.
That's kind of why we're where we are.
Trustee Savage Martin.
We need to notice it does say security camera system. And if this gentleman and his department, as well as the police, don't feel comfortable with the company providing a really good service, with purchasing, you have two choices. You can go by the bid, or you can go with previous working relationship.
Any questions or comments? I had another question. The list that we were given in the board book, it says it was presented by Adam Wilson.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm wondering, did one person do the entire assessment? Is this in collaboration with?
We only have one security camera technician, that's Adam Wilson. So yes, he did that, but he didn't do it alone. He's just the district representative. DataVox was involved with the evaluation as well.
So no other staff members, security? No.
There were probably some other police officers involved, and then, of course, my network engineer was involved as well.
Okay.
So,
my concern is one person kind of leading that, and we have a new interim chief, and it just didn't seem like multiple eyes were on this project. So I'm just wondering, we go to this, and then we come back and we need additional something, and I don't see a collaboration.
how many people did you have on out here?
2 and then Chief Landry.
Yeah. So we had, so DataVox had 2 technicians here, well, an engineer and a technician, and then we also had Chief Lambert involved as well.
Okay. So say that again. It was.
So we had 2 technicians from DataVox, and then our technician and our chief of police, and then our network engineer were all involved in the selection of the, like, how many cameras were actually. And then, of course, our system engineer as well, because the servers are involved in this project as well. So
And I'm wondering why we didn't have like some security and our coordinator of safety, our coordinator of security, the people that are actually on the campuses that know what happens when the cameras are malfunctioning. Just some feedback. I just think it should have been.
Well, Mr. Wilson would know which cameras aren't working.
Okay.
I agree with Dr. Flowers on this, is that I would have liked someone else to come behind and say, this, yes.
Well, the logos on it say the police were communicated. Chief Banner was.
Yes, ma'am.
He was our chief at the time.
Any additional questions or comments? Okay, please cast your votes electronically.
Sorry. Okay, on this.
Cancel the vote.
Yes, please, cancel that vote. Cancel that vote until I ask my question. Okay, please, thank you, sir. Okay. Our board book has the proposal is valid until 2/13/25. So if we, where are we at if we vote on this?
Representative from Datavox indicates it's still valid. The representative from Datavox indicates it's still valid. You'll normally do those at 30 days, don't you? Yeah. So the normal proposal is 30 days, which makes it kind of hard to get the proposal, submit it, and it's still, you'll see that quite often, actually, that it's a few days out of date. Plus, we're a week behind, yeah.
We'll need to get updated documents to put in the,
Trustee Fahey?
The new data center that we just purchased.
Yes, ma'am.
Does it go in good? Does it mesh good with the cameras? Are the technology piece is all
Yes, ma'am.
glued together?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
I have one more question. Is the resolution better? Will it be top-notch?
I think there'll be some improvements in resolution when you're talking about 2025 technology versus anywhere between 2009 up till, 2024. But the vast majority of those cameras that we have out there right now are a little bit older. So it should be an improvement in that.
Madam President, if I can add, what I can add is that we can, because the representative is saying that we can update the date, the motion could reflect that if the board so chooses to vote. If not, staff will be more than happy to get the information updated for a future vote date.
Thank you. Yes, I think it's our responsibility. If it's not in writing, it doesn't exist. That's just me. I'm not really sure how to ask if there can be a motion to table this for next board meeting.
Good evening.
One second.
Is the deal still good?
Yes. We go on a 30-day expiration, so it just needs to be updated.
So if we wanted to amend the motion, we would just include the original plus a different date, today's date?
May I make the amended motion?
You're voting to approve the current proposal. And the current proposal, regardless of it saying effective, it's what you're voting on. If they change it, that's not what you voted on.
So the date is really based upon when your last board meeting is. What you're approving today is what's before you. If they change it, you haven't approved it.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Thanks.
This is just my comment. I would really like feedback from the interim chief on that. That's just my comment. And at this time, we will please cast your votes electronically. Motion carries 4-3. Thank you. The motion did carry, but Chief, I really would like some feedback from you on that, please, the board. We will now move to action item E, approval of job order contractor for moving services of portable buildings for bond project, Duncanville High School. Presenter, Ms. Fields.
Good evening, Madam President, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Goree and waiting audience. Again, it is my privilege to come before you tonight with a proposal and approval of a job order contractor for our bond project. Before you in your board book, you should have really the overview. As you can imagine, as we begin the work at Duncanville High School with our CTE design build building, and along with the renovations of part of Duncanville High School, particularly the freshman area, we're going to have to relocate our scholars, a lot of our scholars, to the portable building complex. And so before you, as we want to begin this work this spring, we have engaged through our bond project management company, LAN, part of the logistics to make a recommendation to use Core Construction, who is a member of, again, a purchasing co-op, Equalis. And a little bit about Equalis, it is through Region 10 ESC. And Equalis is a corporation or cooperative, purchasing organization, and it provides contracts in a multiple different areas, and they bid the work competitively themselves. If you've heard the previous board item, we talked about a contract, a cooperative group. Equalis is one of those. They use competitive solicitations, as we would do if we had done it ourselves, conducted according to all the purchasing laws, the procurement guidelines, and they do everything from school buses to furniture to HVAC systems. They have a multiple list of vendors and services that Equalis provides through Region 10. Tonight, we are asking for your approval so we can continue to move the work forward. We've worked with LAN, and we've also worked with Sodalco Construction. They need to move 16 double-wide portable buildings that belong to Duncanville ISD. They are out at various campuses. This company, Core Construction, is a Dallas-Fort Worth-based company. It is one of the big major 5 construction companies. They did not bid on any of our work, but they have this is something specific they're going to do for us. It's a job order contract. In other words, they're going to do this specific work for us to move these portables for our students to have places for instruction on next school year. Core Construction, of course, does work. They do design build work as well, HVAC, building management. So they have a wide plethora of services they provide. Along with, they have about 1,200 employees to do this work. This is not going to be a small task. We're working with the city. We're trying to get all of our permits. I was just talking to Mr. Hawk this evening, and the city's going to charge us for each building. These buildings belong to us, and once we finish the project, the plan is, if you will approve in the future, is to sell these buildings and then recoup the funds to bring back to the school district. So with that, you have in front of you the recommendation of the quote. There you also kind of have an outline of the plan of how this is going to be, along with the 16 double wides for instructional spaces. We also will have some spaces or portables that will be portable restroom facilities. We're going to cover that. It's going to be fenced in, all the things that we've talked to you all about. But Core Construction has agreed to give us a quote. And I have Mr. Hawk here from LAN. I want to give you as much information as possible so that we can get this going to the tune of $1,304,228.25. 1.304228.25. And I will answer any questions you may have for me at this time.
Do I have a motion to approve Core Construction as the job order contractor to move the current district portable buildings to the Duncanville High School site for the work to proceed on the bond project with the total cost of $1,304,228.25?
So moved.
It's been moved and second. Are there any questions, comments, or discussion? Trustee Savage Martin.
Do we have portables that can be moved in spring? No
Yes.
kids?
We
Or will
have-
you move the kids too?
Many of the portable buildings have other ancillary programs there, and we've already begun the work. And LAN has helped us with this, along with the campus principals, so that we already told them we're going to be moving them. We are not moving the Panther Pantry. I will say that again. We're not moving those portables. They will stay where they are. But there are portables around the district that are probably not being fully utilized for necessarily classroom instruction. There may be a pull-out program possibly there, maybe the speech therapist may be there. Those are some of the people who possibly will use the spaces, along with storage. Some of them become storage, and we've really checked out some of them. I don't remember how many Mr. Hawk said that are not worthy to be moved, because we're afraid if we move them down Camp Wisdom, wherever we have to move them, that they could probably fall apart. So those will be just basically auctioned and trashed. I don't know who would really want them.
Okay, second question or statement. I think, now my memory, okay, but since 1965 when that campus was built, I don't believe there's been portable buildings on it. I could be wrong. So we're gonna make it real quick, right?
We're going to make it quick, and the city has required us, once the CTE building and all the work inside of the high school is done, we have to have them moved within 6 months, or we're going to be in trouble. But we're going to move them before then, because we want to be like on the show, Move That Bus, so we can reveal that beautiful new building on the front there. And so, yes, ma'am, I understand. Yes, they are requiring us to have them gone and trees replanted and making it pristine and beautiful for our community within 6 months.
Trustee Fahey.
I'm sorry, would you repeat why the city's charging us? No, I really don't understand. I mean, because we're using their streets? I mean, some of those portables are in Dallas. I don't really understand.
Good evening, Dr. Flowers, trustees, and Dr. Gorey. The city is charging a very minimal amount called building permit fee. They're reviewing the drawings, so that's their fee. It's a very minimal amount, and because these portables are there, they're going to have electric, they're going to have water, they're going to have IT, they're going to have fire alarm. So that's the reason they have to make sure they're there for about a year. So they want to make sure they're safe and connected and all that. So that's all they're doing there. This is just a very, very small fee.
So what kind of very, very, very small fee?
It's $125 per portable, per double portable.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee
Thank you.
Bearcross?
Thank you, Madam President. So reiterate, you were saying that they were going to be fixed up with fire alarm, electrical, water if
Yes,
they needed.
yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Fire alarm is required, and of course, we're redoing the entire high school, so.
Yeah, with the high school,
Yes.
this will not be connected. We're keeping it separate, so as soon as we are done, we disconnect,
And connect.
sell the portables, and just remove all the temporary utility. There's all totally, everything is temporary.
Absolutely. I just want to make sure the community understands that
Yes.
they're safe.
Yes.
Trustee Colton?
Mrs. Fields, the scope of work was not attached to the proposal, or at least, I didn't, does anybody have it? Could that be provided to us? And then I have a question regarding the number of portables, and if core scope includes, what all does core scope include?
Yes, ma'am. You want to talk about it, and we'll provide that. I provided what was sent to me from LAN, but they have the scope of work. It has been done, so we will certainly provide that for you. We wanted to make sure you had the amount with you, and so we will provide that, plus the total number, I believe is 16.
Yeah, the 16 portables are being moved from
16.
the existing schools to the Duncanville High School northern parking lot. They'll be all connected. They'll have the steps and the ramps and the canopies so student can be protected. And there'll be all the lights and all the electric and the fire alarm. Everything will be connected. There are 29 classrooms were required by the high school principal to be relocated there. One of them, 16, is also some of the staff members will be also there. So this will be a complete ninth grade center isolated there. They'll continue to use the gymnasium and the cafeteria, so walking back and forth, and we have all this aligned while the construction is going on. So this is an important piece of the puzzle to get started with the big high school, the addition CTE.
So the capacity of the 29, I guess, will be 600?
We went by the number of 29 classrooms, so each classroom has 23, 24 students, so they are all being accommodated. They are all double wide, so there's 2 classrooms in each, back to back.
Okay. And so, Mrs. Fields,
Yes, ma'am.
this is a cooperative as well?
Yes, ma'am, it is. It is a cooperative. I do want to speak to the student numbers. This group has met with Mr. Byrd and the staff there to really talk about this, because these will be incoming freshmen. So we know that's a little nerve-wracking. So all the things that incoming freshman parents and a grandmother like me will be nervous about, but the students will also have access to the other fine arts classes. They'll be in the main building for those. So they're not all 1,100 are going to be in the portable buildings at the same time, because if you're in athletics, you're going to be there. If you're in choir, you'll be there. If you're in dance, you'll be there, et cetera, et cetera. And so they'll still rotate. That's why the scope of work will include canopies for the students to walk so they won't get wet. It's going to be very close to that entrance that comes out. And of course, we'll have the space for the administrative team, the assistant principals, the security, all of that will be worked out. This is not the ideal thing, but I told the high school staff, I went there myself. And I told them it's going to be inconvenient for a little while, but when it is over, they are going to be so happy. It's going to be beautiful inside the building and the CTE building.
Okay, I do have a question regarding the cooperative. So I noticed that CORE is charging a fee on top of the base total. Ed, could you elaborate on that?
The Qualis Cooperative has certain standards, and this fee includes providing the bonds, the insurance, and all the necessary equipment and everything else. It's in that fee included. And that's their fixed fee according to Qualis. So that's how we did. The base fee is the big part of the base fee is the moving of the portable and building the temporary decking and the ramps and the steps. Contingency, we're carrying that for some unforeseen conditions. We have Encore to deal with, we have water sewer, we have fire alarm. So we're just keeping that as a safeguard, just in case if we run, so we don't have to come back and ask for a change order and a change order. So we're hoping this would cover. We've studied this for 3 months and collected all that. The most important part of the mover that we have selected, there were 4 movers we talked. This was the only moving company which will move a double wide. Everybody else is going to split. Split is not going to work with us. If you take it apart, I've got to redo a lot of things interior that would have cost more. Initial proposal was $2 million, so we're hoping that that's the reason we came up with 1.3 because of the moving. And this person has moved for you all about 10 years ago.
Thank you very much for those details. I really appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Trustee Fahey?
I promise I'm not going to harp on the city charging us, but if they charge 125-ish per building to move in, will they also charge that when we move them out?
No, they're moving out.
It's 125
It's a one-time
does all.
fee,
Okay.
yes, one-time fee.
Well, just have to be budget conscious.
Trustee Savage Martin?
Ms. Fields, have we developed a communication process to the 9th grade parents?
The 8th graders, yeah, it'd be the 8th graders. I will tell you, we probably have, even though they've probably been hearing about it, but we're gonna have to be very intentional. They're just beginning to do their course selections. I know that it's because I have an 8th grader, granddaughter. And so talking about that, I haven't shocked her yet that she's not gonna be fully at the high school. But I believe that working with our communications, especially now that we've you all have approved the rezoning, that's another big cog in what we're gonna have to do, not only for incoming freshmen, but then everybody else. All the CTE classes we're gonna be moving around. So we've got a lot of mammoth tasks this spring to make sure that we communicate. We'll be certainly talking about it a little bit more and sending something out on social and everything else that we're using to get the word out, especially to the freshmen.
Thank you so much. Please cast your votes electronically. Motion passes 7-0. Thank you both so much. That was very helpful.
Thank you. I think I'm next.
We will now move to action item F, local district update, FFA, local student welfare and health services policy edit. Ms. Fields will continue.
Yes, and this is very simple. Board, thank you again. Last month, I presented this to you. It's really a simple edit, but because it is a local policy, I brought it to you last month. This, of course, is our policy that deals with student welfare and health services. As part of TASB's recommendation and a request from the administration, we're asking you to edit the title under implementation from the Assistant Superintendent of Operations, which position no longer exists, to the Director of Nursing. And that is the addition, and we're asking for your approval tonight.
Do I have a motion to approve the recommendation of the administration for the edit of local policy FFA as presented?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Please cast any questions or comments or discussions. Please cast your votes electronically.
Thank you, Board.
Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. We will now move to action item G, bird fencing. Our presenter will be Dr. Brown. Ms. Zamora is presenting at a conference, I believe.
Yes, ma'am. I am not Ms. Zamora, so. Good evening, Madam President, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Gurry. In January 2024, you, the board, approved fencing upgrades to meet state safety standards for secure enclosed areas. With your approval, we increased fence heights to 8 feet, and these upgrades are now complete. Funding for these upgrades came from the Safety and Facilities Enhancement, SAFE, Cycle 1 grant, and the School Safety Standards grant. These grants are restricted, though, to only fund certain safety measures. Because Byrd Middle School has parking on 3 sides, fencing is only feasible at the back of the building where the track and open fields are. The Texas Education Agency did not approve funding for this fencing under those grants because the track and open fields are not considered instructional facilities. However, the district has since secured additional funding through the Safe Cycle 2 grant, which covers both required and non-required safety enhancements, allowing the Byrd Middle School fencing project to move forward. The proposal found on page 247 of the board book includes the installation of an 8-foot fence at the back of Byrd Middle School, enclosing the track and surrounding field. If approved, Core Construction will install over 2,500 linear feet of fencing, along with 2 double gates and 2 pedestrian gates equipped with emergency egress hardware to prevent unauthorized entry from the outside. The layout of the fence and gates are on page 253 of the board book. Core Construction has been pre-vetted and holds contracts with over 8 purchasing cooperatives. The project is expected to be completed by June 2025. Therefore, tonight, we recommend the board approve the proposal from Core Construction for the Byrd Middle School fencing project exceeding $50,000. Mr. Joe Paterka, Director of Maintenance, and I are available to answer any questions you may have.
Do I have a motion to approve the proposal from Core Construction for installation of fencing at Byrd Middle School exceeding $50,000?
Second.
It's been moved in second. Are there any questions, comments, or discussion? Trustee Savage Martin?
Did I hear you say we'll close the track?
Yes, ma'am. It's going to go around.
Okay, so we're not allowing people to utilize the track. Is this closed during, well, you said we've kind of already done it. So are we not going to let people, that is correct, no longer can use, but they can use Reed? Cannot use Reed, they cannot walk on our tracks. Thank you.
What about the tennis courts? Tennis courts and track, and our citizens use those weekends and
Mr. Paterka, could you come to the mic, please?
nights. But the tennis courts
So with the fencing we did, they still have access to some of the east end courts at the high school, but they cannot get access in behind the high school. So they have a few tennis courts that they have access to, and at Byrd, they will still have access to the tennis courts, but nothing else inside that fenced area.
Okay, thank you.
Did I hear that this work has already been done?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
It will be completed in 2 months, June 2025. So
Okay,
3
we've
months.
already begun.
No. No, ma'am. As soon as you approve it, they're going to be out there and doing it.
Okay, so it'll be done in 2 months.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it. And Trustee Fahey?
Oh, no, I just know citizens who use that, the track to run in the afternoons and walk and.
It's been motioned and second. Please cast your votes electronically. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will now move to action item H, review of existing debt position and potential bond refunding opportunity. Ms. Mayo is not with us. We have Mr. Josh McClellan to do our presentation. Our CFO is at a conference. She was prepared to be here at our last meeting. This was already previously scheduled on her agenda, and so that's why she's not here tonight.
She made a good decision. That conference is a good one to attend. Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Gorey, it's a pleasure to be here tonight. It's been a few months since I've seen you, since the last bond sale. Hopefully tonight I could bring you some good news. So with that, I will try to be brief in comments. Before we talk about tonight's opportunity, I always like to remind folks about how the district actively manages its debt portfolio, either through refunding debt at a lower interest rate or prepaying bonds prior to final maturity. Since 2005, the district has reduced the interest cost for itself and its taxpayers by more than $61.2 million. And we have an opportunity tonight to add to that total. This gives you a look at the district's current debt profile as it stands right now, roughly $322 million of debt outstanding. Those bonds are repaid over a 30-year period. You can see that your debt does go down over time. That is so you have additional bond capacity should you need additional funds in the future for capital improvements. Your ratings are AA3 by Moody's and AA- by S&P, which are fantastic ratings. And just by way of measure, every time we go out and sell bonds, we apply for the Texas Permanent School Fund Guarantee. And for a bargain basement price of $1,500, you get the automatic AAA on the bonds, which gives you the lowest borrowing cost possible. If we look at the $322 million you have outstanding, $259 is callable prior to final maturity. If you look at the first two bond series, your school building bond series 2015 and refunding bond series 2015, those bonds are callable starting a couple weeks ago. And under federal tax law, within 90 days of that call date, you can now refund those bonds, which is just a fancy word to say refinance. You can refinance those bonds at a tax-exempt rate within that 90-day period. And because of that, those bonds carry interest rates that would provide a savings by reducing that cost. So if I flip over to this page, currently you have $29.4 million in your Series 2015 bonds that are currently outstanding at an average interest rate of 4.25%. If you were refinancing those today, that would be 3.42%. That would generate a savings to the taxpayers of $1.26 million. On a present value basis, it's about 3.6 as a general rule of thumb. Anything over 3%, the Government Finance Officers Association says that is something the board should consider. We also put a sensitivity analysis. As you know, every day rates go up and the rates go down, and they've been pretty volatile since the start of the year. But if rates go up 25 basis points, the savings would go to $882,000. If they go down 25 basis points from here, it would be $1.6 million. So ultimately what we're trying to do is pick the most advantageous time to go out and sell these bonds. As you can see, it's about $143,000 a year. So what we're asking the board tonight is to consider a parameters order. This will allow us to prepare everything to go out and sell the bonds, subject to certain parameters, and it would allow the district's administration to move forward with that sale, assuming we meet each and every one of these parameters. Those parameters are we would have to achieve a savings ratio of at least 3%, which is approximately a little more than $1 million of actual savings to the taxpayers net of all costs. That we cannot issue more bonds than we refinance, which is the $29.405 million. The maximum interest rate cannot exceed 3.6%. The final maturity cannot exceed February 15th of 2035. That is the same final maturity as your existing bonds. So when we go refinance, we do not extend the term. We simply replace higher interest rate debt with lower interest rate debt. And then we have 180 days to get this done. Unless each and every one of these parameters are met, we could not move forward until we come back and get additional direction from the board. So this timetable was set up as if we were meeting last week. Obviously, that got pushed to this week. We would be hopeful to be in a position mid-March to have everything wrapped up, to be in a position to start monitoring the market and try to pick an advantageous time. Generally, when we sell bonds, we close 30 days later. But once we close, you have essentially extinguished your higher interest rate debt, replaced it with lower interest rate debt, and locked in that savings amount at that time. I know I went through that relatively quickly. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Do I have a motion to adopt an order authorizing the issuance of Duncanville Independent School District unlimited tax refunding bonds in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $29,405,000.
So moved.
It's been moved in second. Are there any questions, comments, or discussions? Trustee Fahey?
Maybe I shouldn't do this, but I've been looking over at Dr. Bigby. This is something that I would always think of referring to you, but maybe I'm out of order, which is not new, but can he comment on anything?
He can shake his head.
Okay.
See?
Huh?
He.
Okay.
She had me at say.
Any additional questions or comments? Please cast your votes electronically. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will now move to action item I, consideration of adoption of resolution approving contingent fee legal services contract, including findings needed for submission of contingent fee legal services agreement and request for expedited review by the Texas Attorney General. Our presenter is Dr. Goree.
Thank you very much, Madam President and other members of the board. At this time, I'd like to invite our attorney to the podium to give us some general information as it relates to this item.
Good evening. This resolution is for the board's consideration to join in a group of Texas school districts to ask the Attorney General to allow the school districts to join in the social media litigation against various social media companies for the damages that have been sustained by Texas school districts through mental health services, counseling, disciplinary issues, etc., to adopt the resolution to author the resolution before you tonight about to enter into the social media litigation.
Do I have a motion to adopt the resolution approving contingent fee legal services contract, including findings needed for submission of contingent fee legal services agreement and request for expedited review by the Texas Attorney General?
Okay. I have the motion here, pretty much what you said. It's required by Texas Government Code 2254, Subchapter C, and that are needed for submission of a contingent fee legal services agreement and a request to the Texas Attorney General for expedited review.
Is there a second? It's been motion and second. Any questions or comments? Please cast your votes electronically. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you so much. We will now move to action item J. Consideration and, well, somebody has the motion.
Nope. You have to read the action item.
We will now move to action item J, consideration and adoption of contingent fee legal services agreement with Thompson and Horton LLP, Island and Bonin PC, and O'Hanlon, Demarath and Castillo PC. May I have a motion?
So moved?
Waiting on the motion.
I would like to make a motion. I move that the Duncanville ISD Board of Trustees adopt and approve entering into a contingent fee legal services agreement with Thompson and Horton LLP, Island and Bonin PC, and O'Hanlon, Demarath and Castillo PC to represent the district in youth social media usage and related litigation.
Second.
It's been motioned in second. Please cast your votes electronically. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Flowers, board members, and Dr. Gorey.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will now move to information and discussion items. The first item is Building the Future, Raising Champions, Human Resource, and Finance. Presenter, Dr. Gorey.
Thank you very much, Madam President. At this time, I'd like to invite our Chief Human Resource Officer, Ms. Pam Brown, to the podium. She will present information tonight, and in fashion that's really worked well for the board, we'll present the information tonight, and there will be some actionable items that will come next month at your board meeting on March 18th. I also would like to take this opportunity to publicly thank Dr. Bigby. Let's give him a round of applause. So now you want to know why we're clapping. Well, Dr. Bigby, thank you so much for coming in our interim role and filling that void. Probably some of the best work that I've experienced with Dr. Bigby, at least I'd say, is the work he did around cost containment. So he will join Ms. Brown tonight to do a wrap-up of his cost containment work. And again, Dr. Bigby, we do appreciate you because it will be that work that we will use as we go into the budget process next month as well. So thanks again, Dr. Bigby, for coming off of your vacations and spending time with us.
Good evening, Madam President, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Gorey. Tonight, I will be presenting information on the district's strategic efforts to achieve academic goals. Our focus is on making targeted adjustments and optimizing our resources to ultimately ensure the best educational outcomes for students. Earlier this year, we presented an update on our district's strategic goals, focusing on Priority 3, personnel and professional development. Goal 1 is centered on supporting uncertified teachers in achieving their certification. We also reviewed Priority 4, fiscal stewardship and operational excellence, with Goal 1 ensuring effective financial management to maintain compliance and to support the district with student outcomes, and Goal 2, aiming to enhance operational efficiency and service quality throughout the district. Today's presentation will take a deeper dive into these goals and our ongoing efforts to advance them. Today, we will highlight key objectives that impact student learning and district effectiveness, reflecting on our commitment to continuous improvement. Reducing teacher vacancies ensures classrooms have qualified educators. We want to ensure that students receive high-quality instruction because that's a top priority for our district. Also, we aim to increase the number of expert teachers in the classroom, enhancing student success with skilled and knowledgeable educators. We want to strengthen the support for new teachers through mentorship and development, and we want to help them succeed and stay in the profession long-term. We're committed to fiscally responsible operations, aligning district decisions with priorities while staying within our budget constraints. These goals are interconnected and crucial for educational excellence, supporting our students, teachers, and district resources. I would like to address some questions you may have about our current data. Teacher vacancies on the first day of school for the 24-25 school year decreased by 22% compared to the first day of school for the 23-24 school year. We have also reduced teacher vacancies from 80 on the first day of school to 65 as of February 1st. Currently, we have 208 certified teachers with fewer than 5 years of experience teaching, and we are actively supporting our uncertified teachers in achieving their certification. These trends align with statewide challenges. Statewide, 57% of newly hired teachers are uncertified. Today, we'll be focusing on two items: restructuring our instructional support through a program change and adjusting the middle school teacher daily schedule and professional learning community, or PLC structure. PLCs center on groups of educators who work collaboratively together to improve their teaching and learning and student learning. So what is a program change? A program change may occur for various reasons, such as the redirection of resources, efforts to improve efficiency, changes in enrollment, a lack of student response to specific course offerings, legislative revisions, or a reorganization or consolidation of schools, departments, or districts. On the next slide, I will be presenting a proposed program change for the instructional support specialist, currently part of our curriculum and instruction department, who provides support district-wide. This proposed change is designed to better align with the district's goals of maximizing student outcomes while maintaining fiscal responsibility. We are proposing a new instructional support model that will replace the 19 instructional support specialists with 11 instructional coach roles. This change aims to bring our most effective educators closer to the classrooms, directly impacting student achievement. Acton, Bill Hart's, and Daniel, all comprehensive and targeted improvement campuses, will each have a full-time instructional coach with the aid of grant funding. The remaining elementary campuses will be paired to share instructional coaches to support them campus-wide. Each middle school will have their own instructional coach, and the high school will have 2 instructional coaches. Instructional support specialists who are not hired as instructional coaches will transition to mentor teacher positions. These teachers will be assigned to various campuses, assuming the role of teacher of record for a classroom. They will receive compensation based on their years of experience in alignment with the teacher salary schedule, along with an additional $7,500 stipend for their mentoring and their coaching responsibilities. We are excited about this transition as it allows students to receive direct teaching from some of the best educators in our district. This restructuring ensures that we are placing expert educators in the classroom, driving student achievement, and fostering improved teaching practices district-wide through coaching and mentorship. We want to assure everyone that no staff member will lose their job due to this program change. All employees in good standing will retain a position with the district. The goal is to align resources more effectively to support student achievement and improve teaching practices. This restructuring will place our best teachers directly in the classroom, maximizing their impact on student success. Also, by prioritizing classroom instructor and teacher support, we want to ensure the high-quality education for all students. Mentor teachers will be providing essential mentorship and coaching, strengthening teacher practices, ensuring that all teachers have the support that they need to continuously improve. Our goal is to align both financial and human resources to support student achievement. At the next board meeting, the school board will be asked to take action to approve the proposed program change in alignment with board policy DFFB local, reduction in force program change. While the term reduction in force is used in policy, it's important to note that it does not mean anyone will lose their job. Every employee in good standing will retain a position with the district as a result of the change. The proposed program change, including staffing reorganization and role adjustments, will be detailed in the formal board resolution. This resolution will outline how we're restructuring to better align resources and supporting student achievement. Once approved, the program change will be implemented to improve our educational structure, create a more efficient system that enhances classroom experiences and maximizes educator impact on student success. On an earlier slide, I mentioned changing the PLC, or the professional learning community structure, at the middle school campuses. Currently, core teachers have a mandatory conference period and PLC period. We plan to transition from the current 45-minute PLC period for core content teachers at the middle school level to scheduling a full day of planning at least every 6 weeks. During these full-day planning sessions, substitutes will be provided to cover classrooms, ensuring that grade-level teams have the dedicated time that they need to collaborate effectively and plan more in depth. This change allows for more comprehensive discussions, data analysis, and alignment of instructional strategies across teams. This change also will allow highly qualified teachers to teach additional sections of their subjects, increasing opportunities for students to receive instruction from highly qualified educators, while also generating cost savings for the district. This aligns with both the district's student achievement and fiscal goals. Also on an earlier slide, we presented priority 4 goals. The remaining part of this presentation will focus on priority 4 with an emphasis on cost containment and budget development. Keeping in line with the strategic plan and the goals of priority 4, fiscal stewardship, Dr. Gorey created the Cost Containment Committee with the support and leadership of Dr. Bigby. This committee was composed of district staff from all areas of the district, bringing together their unique perspectives and ideas on cost containment strategies for the current and upcoming fiscal years, all while ensuring that we provide every child with a high-quality education. At this time, and Dr. Gorey has already addressed it, but I would like to give a heartfelt thanks to Dr. Bigby for his dedicated work on this committee because he was very instrumental in this, so thank you again, Dr. Bigby. His commitment to the students, staff, and families of Duncanville ISD has been truly invaluable. We sincerely appreciate his leadership, guidance, and unwavering support in helping us to move forward. In last month's budget update, Ms. Mayo presented the top 5 cost savings identified by the Cost Containment Committee. Through a review of historical data, we have projected budget savings in these key areas. The projected savings from energy management are based on the estimates calculated from statewide data tied to the HVAC systems added since summer 2024, with additional systems to be implemented in the current and upcoming fiscal years. The projected savings from the estimate is derived from last year's utility data. However, fluctuation in utility rates or changes in weather patterns could impact the estimates that are provided. The estimated savings from a temporary campus closure due to renovation are based on projected cost reductions during the 1-year construction period that will be taking place at the identified campuses. Expected budget savings include salaries from positions closed through attrition, utilities, and non-payroll expenses. These savings will be incorporated into budget projections for the fiscal years impacted by the closure. As we move through line item budget details, the HR team will be conducting a staffing analysis, and then this impact may also be adjusted. In addition to the program changes that we discussed earlier, additional adjustments have been made that will impact the general fund budget. Last year, the board reviewed position changes, including reductions in assistant principals, campus aides, and counselors. These reductions have been implemented gradually through attrition and are reflected in the financial analysis. Additionally, as previously mentioned, program changes, central office positions are currently under review. As vacancies arise, the necessity of rehiring is carefully evaluated. These reductions have impacted departments including curriculum and instruction, student services, and business services. Ms. Mayo is currently reviewing preliminary figures for taxable values and estimates for enrollment for the 25-26 school year to determine for revenue forecasts. The district is also expected to experience additional reduction to SHAR's revenue above the cuts seen in current and prior fiscal years. Administration will continue to review and analyze possible additional cost containment initiatives and bring to the board for approval during the budget workshops. Ms. Mayo is also developing and will be working with campuses and departments to develop the line item non-payroll budget. HR is entering into the staffing review for the 25-26 school year, and we're looking at positions district-wide, and the outcome will determine the impact to the payroll budget. And Ms. Mayo will continually review budget savings related to the temporary campus closures due to bond construction and energy savings, and will share details at the upcoming budget workshops. On this slide are the proposed budget workshop dates that are presented here for your review. Are there any questions?
It's late, but I have one quick question. The mentor teachers, if they are teacher of record, when are they going to provide the additional support to other teachers?
The mentor teachers will have different opportunities, similar to an older model. A principal could get them a substitute. The district, if we needed them to mentor at a campus across the district or maybe model or co-teach, classroom substitute can be provided as well. Also, they'll have opportunities to work with those teachers after school, before school, and throughout the day as the principal can relieve them.
So we don't have it like scheduled. We have the stipend, the $7,500 stipend, but not really sure how they're going to be used.
At the secondary level, mentor teachers will have additional periods off, but at the elementary level, we will have to use more of the substitute model to relieve them. And so we still will have instructional coaches in the district as well. And so just collaboratively working with the team to make sure that they have that mentor time as well. But at the secondary level, yes, they are able to have an additional period at middle school and high school if they're assigned to those campuses.
Right, and we've had that very conversation, and I agree with Ms. Brown. The elementary does create a unique challenge because of the schedule. But one thing I will say, and I'll add, and then I'll go back to that, is that we're really excited to see these 19 high-quality educators that have been housed here at Central Office return to the campus. And we do believe that this will provide the best opportunities for children. We do feel the mentor structure is important because they are some of our best teachers. And that's how they ended up being promoted or moved into these positions at the central level. But again, we do see this as a way to continue to get the best, highest quality teachers in front of children, but also let them mentor and support other teachers. The elementary does present a unique challenge, and we are working through that, but there will be opportunities through their planning times or different times where the $7,500 will be used so that we can require additional things of them at those levels.
Okay, thank you. And lastly, as we are thinking about cuts and being fiscally responsible, can you guys bring us some options for pay raises as we are looking for ways to decrease the budget, but bring us some options for pay increases? And my second thing is a strategy for increasing security officers, not just at the high school campus, but on the middle school campus and elementary campuses as well. That's actually to you, Dr. Gurry.
Yes, ma'am, I will. And I tell you one thing that we've talked about, and it's music to Ms. Brown's ears as I can see her look there, because she has spent extensive time studying the pay cycles and even looking at if the state does provide a certain amount of dollars, that we really are, if we're going to focus on building the future, going to have to look at providing additional dollars so that we are competitive within this region. So we are already looking in that space, and appreciate your question about security. We will look at that as well.
Yeah, we would love to
Beyond
match the other districts, but we know we can't, but we should try.
We'll see. Let's see.
Yeah, well,
We're working towards that direction.
Yeah, let's try. So if you guys can bring us some options to look at that are sustainable, that's the key word for me, is that sustainable.
Absolutely. Agree.
Any additional questions or comments?
Thank you.
Thank you. Now I lost my place. I got really into, we will move to the information discussion agenda item B, bond project update. Ms. Fields, that was my soapbox right there.
Well, good evening again, and I know these next two reports that I'll be presenting are standing between us going home, so we're going to try to give you some good news and expedite the policy review that will be coming, will be the next item. I am so excited to introduce or present, I don't think she's coming, or they've come, I'm not sure who all's coming, but Amelia Nguyen and Seth Stevens from WRA, if they'll make their way, they're behind me, maybe they are the principals that are working with us on the Central Academy in Brandenburg. They're going to present first, so you can kind of see what they've been doing. And then following them, you'll have Ms. Idalisa Camacho from Huckabee, who will talk to you about Smith, and you all are going to like what you're going to see. Oh, you're going to talk, all right.
Good evening, Madam President, Board of Trustee, and Dr. Gorey. My name is Amelia Nguyen. I am going to be representing WRA Architects tonight to present Central and Brandenburg Academy to you. We are grateful for the opportunity to work on these two campuses with the district. We understand the historical significance of Central to the district and the community, and we also understand the exciting opportunity to introduce the new choice programs at these two campuses. For the past month, we have been working closely with the district leadership team to provide meaningful designs to both sites, and I'm excited to present these to you tonight, starting with Central. Currently shown on the screens are the existing exterior conditions for Central. On the far left is the historical facade and current front entry. While beautiful and unique, the existing secure vestibule does not provide an accessible entrance for the building's visitors. The central courtyard connecting the three separate structures on campus with several freestanding canopies have seen better days. And on the lower right-hand corner shows the existing playground and shade structure. For the exterior site, we are concentrating on addressing that front entrance, the central courtyard, and the playground area at the bottom. As mentioned earlier, the current front entry and secure vestibule does not meet ADA standards, so we are proposing to relocate the front door and secure vestibule around the corner within the front courtyard, indicated by the big, large arrow there on the floor plan. So by doing so, we're able to add an accessible ramp while still maintaining that historical front entrance. As seen on the rendering, the ramp will be off to the side of the building, and we'll have a canopy to protect the visitors from the elements. With the different structures on campus creating a nice central courtyard, we wanted to remove some of the concrete pavement and introduce a synthetic turf, which will not only help with the current drainage issues, but also provide a more welcoming space for staff and students. We'll be replacing all of the freestanding canopies and existing sewer line to help with that drainage as well. And finally, on the site, we'll be replacing the playground equipment, shade structure, and moving it closer to the building. Moving inside, where the majority of the work will occur, you can see some of the existing conditions on the screen. While functional to an extent, the classrooms and library are undersized per the latest TEA standards. The finishes would need some upgrades, and there's some remnants of old graphics before Duncanville consolidated all campuses to be Panthers. Overall, we faced the challenge of fitting the required program within the existing exterior walls. There are also other constraints, such as different level changes inside and outside. This is a large overview of the proposed floor plan, and I'll be zooming in a little bit to showcase some of the more prominent spaces. Essentially, the blue are all of your classrooms. K through second grade are on the left-hand side, and then third through fifth are on the far right-hand side. You have the admin suite right in the center up north, and the darker pink is the library. Next to it is the existing cafeteria and kitchen location. And then all of your fine arts program are in purple with the gym in green. So Central will receive a new admin suite that will include the new vestibule, as I mentioned earlier, leading into a new reception area. The library will be moved to a more central location within the school and will have enough shelves to accommodate the TEA requirements for book counts. The cafeteria and kitchen will remain in their current locations, but will receive updated finishes. The leadership team from the district actually had a great idea for this historical graphic wall to showcase the history of the central building and site. And we believe the best location for this graphic is in the cafeteria, since it's the central piece connecting the two wings. And there's a large storefront in front where you can possibly see in and see this graphic being displayed. We'll be moving the auditorium from the west wing to the east wing to utilize a slightly higher roof structure. And the auditorium will consist of a built-in platform with curtains and theatrical lights and enough room for a maximum capacity of about 180 audience members. And while the gym will remain in the existing condition, in the existing location, we are looking to give all of the finishes an upgrade as well. The flooring will be replaced with a multi-purpose surface to accommodate both PE and dance activities. And within the same gym building will be the piano lab and dance studio. With these upgrades, we are transforming Central Elementary into an innovative academy and celebrating the rich history of the campus as well. Up next is Brandenburg. Currently here are the existing exterior conditions, which are in overall good condition. We'll be upgrading some handrails to bring them up to ADA code and looking to replace the wooden planters that you see here to be concrete. We'll be cleaning the masonry walls and resealing some joints. There's no major changes being proposed to the Brandenburg site. The front entrance and all parking will remain the same. Going inside, you can see from these images that the finishes are not in terrible condition, and due to limited budget here, we're looking to maintain a lot of the existing flooring, ceiling, and light fixtures in the corridors and the more recently upgraded restrooms. However, similarly to Central, we had the challenge of working in the required programs of a fine art academy into an existing footprint with limited roof height. In this overall floor plan, again, the classrooms are in blue, fine art spaces in purple, admin in the dark red, cafeteria remaining where it is in light pink. Library is Central in the darker pink. We have a couple of science labs in the light green and the gym remaining where it is in the darker green. The cafeteria, kitchen, and stage will remain in the existing location as mentioned. We'll be upgrading the walls and ceiling finishes along with the light fixtures for a more cohesive appearance with the other new spaces planned for this building. And while we're keeping the existing floor and ceilings in the corridors, we'll be introducing a new ceramic wall tile for added durability. And since we're removing the existing lockers, we're going to introduce these built-in nooks, which can be utilized for pin-up space and benches. The library will remain at the current location, but it'll get expanded for additional shelving and collaboration space. And we'll be introducing a black box theater with an associated makeup room, dressing rooms, restrooms, And depending on the seating arrangement, the space could host up to 80 audience members. And across the hall will be the choir room. On the other side of the black box there's the new band hall with dedicated ensemble room and practice rooms. And again, the gym will remain in the same location, but will receive upgraded finishes. Thank you again for the opportunity to work with Duncanville ISD on these two unique projects. We're excited to see these visions come to life and take any questions from here.
Are there any questions? Trustee Savage Martin?
Going back to Central, the two entrances that are existing, have been, whatever, are those windows now?
So there are 3 entrances right
Right.
now on.
Right,
yeah,
I figured
so-
y'all close that one off altogether.
Yeah, we'll close off the middle one, but the 2 sides will remain doors.
Oh, okay.
So one of them, the main entrance now, will become staff only that leads into the private admin suite. So it'll be staff only entrance.
Right, okay, got it, because those are hallways.
Yes.
Okay. And then, what floors are you gonna put in the dance rooms?
There's a specialized gym flooring that is also multi-purpose for PE and dance.
Tap. I'm gonna come back and teach. Yeah. I'm serious. What kind of floor are you gonna put? It can't be squishy.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not squishy.
And then the stage will be the same too, right? Stages at both Brandenburg and Central.
So for Brandenburg, we were not going to switch out the stage flooring since they're getting a new black box. But at Central, we will provide a wood look floor that can accommodate the dance.
You know, you could move some of the boards from the gym if you're gonna redo that floor over into there, but, you know, just something to think
The
about.
gym right now has VCT at Central.
Oh, does it?
So another
Forget
reason
that.
we wanted to refresh it.
Even on stage?
Yeah, because I thought there was wood there, but it could have been changed.
Central has the stage.
The stage at Central is so old, it's probably has asbestos.
Let's not talk about it.
They put asbestos under the
Well,
wood
we'll need
back in
to
the day.
abate it, yeah, it's the.
Okay.
We're live. Please edit that if possible. Trustee Savage Martin, did I hear you're going to come back and teach tap? Okay.
For the kids, not for people.
All right. Are there any questions? Comments? Discussion? Thank you so much. We will now move to the information discussion.
That's Smith.
Uh-oh, okay.
Good evening, President, Dr. Gori, trustees. Thank you, Mrs. Field, for the introduction. Can you all hear me well? Yes. I'm sorry, I'm a little congested. Apologize for. All right, good evening again. I'm Idalisa Camacho with Huckabee Architects. I have the honor to represent Huckabee to provide a design update and show the progress for the full interior renovation of Smith Elementary Learning Academy, a place where little champions will embark on their educational journey. So the first slide, we're showing the purpose and objectives. This is not our words. This is the district words, and this basically drove the design approach and strategy that we implemented for the design. Basically, we can summarize the design approach as a vision where where the students, staff, and community connect to inspire learning and growth. We believe that learning flourishes when everyone feels connected and support. We prioritize one of the most important connections, which is the connection to nature. That's why we implemented biophilic design strategy as a key aspect of fostering these connections. We aim to create spaces that are not only stimulated and engaging, but also support the well-being of students and staff. Research has shown that exposure to nature can improve cognitive functions, reduce stress, anxiety, and enhance creativity. We're showing here big ideas, and these slides represents basically some of the strategies that took place as part of the design process. As you can see here, there is a palette of color. We're showing texture, we're showing ideas, all inspiring nature that were part of the design process and ideas that we implemented in the concepts of the project. Another layer of the design, intimately related to the connection to nature, is the cyclical beauty of the 4 seasons. This is one of the main themes that we took in consideration to create the identity of all the spaces throughout the building. Here, this is a floor plan diagram that summarizes basically the main ideas that we implemented for this project. You can see that we have 4 neighborhoods. Each one of the neighborhoods will have the identity basically formed with one primary color that it will be related to one of the seasons. In addition to that, as you can see on the floor plan as well, you have different icons showing the location of each one of the experience that will be designed in those classrooms. And those experience classrooms will be paired with standard classroom for a total of 18 classrooms. This is one of the spaces. This is the library area. As you can see, there are colored shapes, materials that are directly inspired in nature. This is a main hub for the library area. This is one of the collaboration spaces. It's designing around the idea of winter, one of the seasons. The next one, this is our favorite, this spring. This is summer. And last but not least, this is the fall. As you could see on each one of the collaboration spaces, we're changing the colors, but we are keeping same consistent elements, like the reading notes, the tree elements, the lighting. So even though they have different identity, the kids will be familiar with those components as they move throughout the school. So with that, we finalize our presentation. These are main concepts, big ideas that we are implementing to the project. We're currently at design development phase, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any questions? We will now move to information discussion agenda item C, Texas Association of School Boards Policy Update. Ms. Fields.
See if I can talk fast like that commercial, you know, when they have that extra, they don't really want you to hear the sponsored by that. I'm going to try to move through this. Of course, board, you know, this presentation is update from TASB 124. Last year, about this time, we did 123. And you have in front of you the PowerPoint and also the policies. And we're going to really hone in on the local policies, and I'm going to try to move through this very expeditiously. Just for your background, this is TASB is our policy service, and all these changes are really in compliance of not this legislative session, but the previous legislative session. Some became laws immediately, others did not, and so these are the latest. There were 52 legal policies that you did not have to vote on, which totaled about 300 pages that we didn't put in your book. And then there are 8 local policy changes that you have in front of you that I'll walk us through. The first one that you have is CAA local financial ethics. And this particular policy matches a legal policy, CBB legal. And it's really editing, changing the word designee out of this policy so that only the superintendent or the board president, one for reporting fraud, the superintendent and the board president will be listed as those that will report fraud to the board, and the superintendent will conduct investigations and disciplinary action. So it's really taking out the word designee out of this local policy, and it's connected to financial ethics. CDA, local sellers of investments, and there are some requirements there for you where it says that the sellers of the investment and their representatives must be registered with these couple of state agencies, one, the Texas State Securities Board, and have membership in the Securities Investor Protection Corporation, and that they must be registered in good standing with the Municipal Securities Rulemaking Board. I'm not as familiar with all that, but I did run this by Ms. Mayo, and she gave a thumbs up before she left on this. And if you have questions, I'm sure you can reach out to her about that. CY local is about intellectual property, and of course, board, this is nothing new. We have a policy on intellectual property, but they're really strengthening this because of copyright infringement. And so even when people leave our district and they perhaps created something here that they want to take it with them, and so here you have a little bit stronger language clarifying the circumstances in which an individual can use intellectual property, and it also clarifies that we have some abilities to use things in instruction, like musical music, or perhaps even some other kind of other books, etc., that we can use as part of instruction. But this is strengthening that particular policy. DH local is, as you all know, we've had change in law about use of e-cigarettes and other items. And so for the schools, they want to make sure that we address this, that even tobacco and e-cigarettes are prohibited, even if it only contains tobacco. And so this will line up with our model employee handbook, the language. EHB local deals with our special programs and dyslexia and related disorders. And this is, again, board, we have this policy, but strengthening it based on legislation where students who have dyslexia, they will be addressed through the administrative code, that we follow those laws, and also any reference to dyslexia that is discussed and decided on through the admission review and dismissal, the ART committee. Under EHBB, these policies are connected with instruction, of course, and the GT program. And really for this, the bottom line for this particular policy is to make sure that the money we receive for the students who are coded GT or gifted and talented goes back to the program and to the students. That's what this policy is about. And FFG local, student welfare, and I want to highlight this when I'm almost done, because this came up in discussion even on last year when individuals would have to make a report on child abuse and neglect. And now it is required the person who is making the report must give their name and contact information, which of course creates with some individuals fear, but the policy still states that the identity of the person that reports it, that information will be kept confidential and only disclosed in accordance to law. So you have, if I report it, I have to tell you I reported it, I have to give you my contact, and then they have to guarantee that whoever, the parent or the grandparent or the teacher or the whomever committed the abuse will not find out who reported it. But this is a two-step. It used to be, you could be anonymous and no one ever knew. So just wanted to, because some people have been really nervous about this even from last year. We knew this was coming. And then, of course, this is connected to the one in D. No electronic vaporizing devices, even if they have tobacco or e-cigarettes. This is for our community, anything on our property, our buses, school events, etc. This is against the law. And do you have questions? Next month, we'll ask you to approve these.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Being that there are no further items to discuss, may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
It's been moved in second. Good night.